Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Martin and this channel is my attempt to share some of my experiences now that I've retired. You join me today. I'm just moving up towards the Hawkesbury junction where the Coventry Canal and the North Oxford Canal come together, and I'm setting off down the North Oxford Canal. Now this is a little bit speculative really at the start. There's still a blockage on the North Oxford somewhere near Brinklow. I understand they're getting on really well with the work and they are clearing it. There are various rumours that boats that are travelling down there are being allowed through, but it's still several days before the announced reopening of the canal. But I'm going to go down there, see what's going on, get a bit closer and see what we can find, see if we can get through. was about this point that the heavens opened, absolutely torrential rain, and I got soaked. So I put all the recording equipment away, and it stayed there until I got to my mooring, which was kind of close to Bridge 26, just below Brinklow. The origins of Brinklow probably predate the Romans, as there was a burial mound situated here. In fact, the Romans diverted their Fosse Way road around the mound. The mound was later developed by the Normans into the Motte and Bailey Castle that is situated there today. Brinklow wasn't mentioned in the Domesday Book as it was only founded as a market town in the early 13th century, but by the time of the 19th century that market had largely disappeared. The Motte and Bailey Castle is thought to be one of the best examples of this type of structure in the UK. It's easy to see why the Normans developed the burial mound into a Motte and Bailey castle. It's got such commanding views of the surrounding countryside. And looking back towards the village, you get a pretty good understanding of just how extensive the earthworks were. From the top of the castle mound, you can see a really good example of ridge and furrow field system. These date back to the medieval period and are a result of ploughing with non-reversible ploughs. So, in other words, each time the field was ploughed, the mounds or the ridges got higher and higher and the furrows got deeper and deeper. But what this brought was an added advantage, particularly in a wet climate or in wet fields, where the ridges would remain quite dry and the furrows would remain quite damp. They also helped to drain slightly wetter fields that often running up and down hills rather than across the hills. From an archaeological perspective, these fields are great indicators of fields that haven't been ploughed for maybe several hundred years, as modern ploughing would certainly destroy the ridge and furrow effect and fill those ruts in. This being Thursday, of course, it was time for Thursday's lunchtime treat. This week it was in the Bull's Head in Brinklow. They do a really good offering of smaller lunchtime portions at a very reasonable price. Very reasonable food as well. And the pint was really nice too. But by now I was itching to get on, see if I could get through the landslip ahead of schedule. So I set off towards Streatham Wharf. I'd only moored up at Streatham Wharf for a few minutes, well, maybe an hour, when a boat went past, went through the swing bridge and off towards the landslip. So I thought, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, I'm going to give it a go. As I approached the landslip, in the distance I noticed there was a boat coming in the other direction, so I pulled over, put it in neutral and sort of hung around until he'd gone through. Neither of us could go very quickly anyway because of all the debris floating around in the water.
Is it?
Yeah, you cleared it.
Brilliant. Is this the main one or is it further down?
No, this is the worst one here now.
Alright mate, thank you.
That's why I was taking it slow.
Yeah, just mine knows.
Yeah.
this is obviously the smaller of the two landslips, and you can see where the CRT have removed all the trees to reduce the weight and therefore reduce the risk of a similar thing happening to what's happened further up the canal.
Thank you, gentlemen. This is my first lot since about February, I think. Atherstone was the last one. I've been up the Ashby since then.
That's it.
Well, good morning, and I'll turn you around that way a bit. There we go. Yeah, good morning. What a lovely morning, and what a lovely mooring as well. I'm about a mile outside of Braunston. Chose this spot because I heard that Braunston was a little bit busy. A lot of boaters on their way, making their way to Crick for next weekend's Crick event. I have to say, this is probably one of the nicest moorings I've been on, or best moorings I should say I've been on. Plenty of secure space to moor the boat with water that's deep enough, which hasn't always been the case. There's, as you can see, unlimited solar and the sun shining, which is also really nice. And the internet's really good, really strong signal. So all in all, a pretty good spot. As I say, the reason I moored out here was because creek's quite busy and I didn't want to go too far in. I'm about a mile out, but I didn't want to go too far in case I ran out of mooring space. And yesterday I'd had quite a long morning, so I didn't fancy tackling Braunston Tunnel yesterday. Needed a break, so yeah, settled here, and it's absolutely fabulous. Let me show you. Set you back down there. So, not too shabby, is it? So yes, once I've had breakfast, I shall set off down this last piece, or my last piece of the North Oxford. And then when I get to Braunston turn, I shall turn left and head off down the Grand Union, through Braunston village itself, and then on through the tunnel and on to Norton Junction. Once I get to Braunston turn, that'll probably be the end of this video, and then I shall start a new one, taking you along, well, certainly through the tunnel to Norton Junction, possibly down the Buckby flight of locks. Not sure yet how far. It might even be all the way to Gayton Junction, I don't know yet. But in fact, bearing in mind that I've done the section from Norton Junction, or from Gayton Junction to Norton Junction, I probably will take you all the way to Gayton, and then set off down the Northampton flight down to the Nene. So that's the plan. The plan is to get onto the River Nene and the Great Ouse as soon as possible, so that I can do it justice, do as much exploring as I can, and still get back up to Northampton before the winter and the winter, or potentially anyway, winter flooding. So I want to get there. It's the reason why I haven't really done much exploring on the North Oxford apart from Brinklow. I shall have to come back and visit some of these places. If you've enjoyed any of this, please subscribe if you're not already, and give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see Braunston Tunnel and beyond, then ding the old bell. Okay, see you soon. This? Marmite, what else? And a second cup of tea.